When you're passionate about something, it's always exciting to meet someone who not only shares that passion, but elevates it with their unique perspective. That's exactly how I felt during my conversation with Cléa Carlier, known as Classic Nonchalance on Instagram. She's a sharp-witted influencer who blends humor, education, and advocacy to make the world of classic menswear more approachable. And she does it all while wearing impeccably tailored suits. Cléa's journey into the sartorial arts began in her teens, a time where all experimenting with our personal style and self-expression, as well as how we present ourselves in the world. My personal style was highly influenced by my experience with historic reenacting and living history, my parents' hobby that they pulled me into as a kid, and I've been participating in ever since. Cléa, though, her love for tailoring was ignited by a single transformative experience.
Hi, Cléa. How's it going?
Hello, Evan. I'm doing actually quite well. This passion really started when I was 15. I remember very vividly my mother had decided to buy me new clothes because I was supposed to go back to school. My mother stops on this burgundy double-breasted suit from Burton, which was terribly ill-fitting. Now I can say that, but at the time she asked me to try it on, and I did. And the feeling that I had when I saw myself, it's a sort of epiphany.
That epiphany lit a fire in her, one that eventually grew into a platform and an online community where she celebrates the craftsmanship and culture of classic menswear. But Cléa's content is more than an homage to tradition. It's an open door.
Now, either try to educate or entertain or do both. So the goal now has become, we want to sort of reel in the people who don't necessarily know about classic menswear through this entertaining side. We want to teach them things, but we also want to entertain those who already know. I just wanted to really have something where people could learn a thing or two, but also some people who might be more experienced could just be there and enjoy the experience.
One of the things that I immediately loved about Cléa's videos is how she combines humor with expertise. Classic menswear can feel intimidating, even stuffy, but Cléa breaks that tension with her personality.
You know, every time I hit record on a camera and I start doing something very serious, I'm going to start to say silly things on camera.
Still, beneath the silliness lies a deeper mission, to challenge assumptions about gender and style. Cléa exclusively wears men's clothing, not women's clothing tailored to look masculine, but actual men's garments.
I happen to prefer the silhouette of men's tailoring. Then, because for my own body type, I happen to be lucky in this matter. I'm very tall. I think we shouldn't vilify conforming. Sometimes people want to conform because they want to be that thing that they are conformed to, and it's totally fine. So at the end of the day, it is a search of identity. You just have to figure out where do I want to conform.
Her choice to wear men's clothing isn't just a preference. It's a statement against the rigidity of the fashion industry's gender norms. For Cléa, suits are a universal symbol of confidence and refinement that transcends gender. Tailored menswear has long been a symbol of power, authority, refinement, and its structure, rooted in tradition, conveys a sense of permanence and respectability. For Cléa, adopting this aesthetic isn't just about appreciating the craftsmanship, but also about reclaiming and reshaping its cultural significance. Historically, suits have been an exclusive uniform of masculinity. By wearing impeccably tailored men's suits, Cléa not only pays homage to their artistry, but also subverts their exclusivity, demonstrating that such garments can and should be worn by anyone who appreciates them.
A suit is a suit. Whether you put it on a man or a woman, it will convey the same message, especially if it's well cut.
Her followers often tell her how her posts inspire them to explore menswear for themselves, no matter their gender. Cléa acknowledges that there's still stigma around breaking these norms, but she's hopeful.
People will grow more accustomed to seeing people, various people, wearing various types of clothing. Or so I hope.
As a parent of small children, one of the more nuanced lessons I'm trying to teach them is the why behind what we wear. It's a balancing act, helping them understand the utility of clothing versus its style, trends versus societal expectations, and when and where certain outfits are appropriate. Clothes are, at their core, costumes. They allow us to play roles and fit into particular occasions, whether it's dressing up for a formal event or putting on sneakers for a run. I want my kids to see clothing as a form of self-expression, yes, but also as a tool for navigating the world with respect for the situation, for themselves, and for others. It's not about conforming for conformity's sake, but about understanding that what we wear communicates something, whether we intend it to or not. It's a big concept for little minds, but I think starting the conversation early can help them approach how they dress themselves more thoughtfully as they grow up. When chatting with Cléa about this concept of thoughtfulness, our conversation naturally turned to the broader challenges in the fashion world, like the decline in quality and rise of fast fashion. Cléa didn't mince words about the impact it's had on how we view clothing.
We're so ingrained in the fast fashion culture that people don't really know anymore what a piece of clothing is supposed to cost.
She's right. Fast fashion has conditioned us to expect cheap prices and endless new styles, but at what cost? It's a system that's devalued craftsmanship and eroded the appreciation for high-quality garments. We're taught to value quantity over quality, normalizing the rapid turnover of wardrobes and diminishing the perceived value of well-tailored garments. This has not only eroded traditional trades like tailoring, but also fostered a culture of disposability. For a more thorough deep dive into the current problems with the fast fashion trend, I recommend watching this excellent video from More Perfect Union. Cléa advocates for a slower, more intentional approach to fashion. Buy fewer, better pieces, and take care of them. Whether that means altering, mending, or just treating your clothes with respect, it's about embracing the value of longevity. This ethos aligns perfectly with menswear's heritage, where quality and durability have always been central. It calls attention to the disconnect between consumers and the labor-intensive processes that underpin high-quality tailoring, and it's a reminder that clothing isn't just disposable, it's an investment in yourself. Cléa's philosophy of investing in fewer, better-made items reminds me of Terry Pratchett's famous boots theory from Men-at-Arms. A really good pair of leather boots costs $50, but an affordable pair of boots, which were sort of okay for a season or two and then leaked like hell when the cardboard gave out, cost about $10. But the thing was that good boots lasted for years and years. A man who could afford $50 had a pair of boots that'd still be keeping his feet dry in 10 years' time, while the poor man who could only afford cheap boots would have spent $100 on boots in the same time and would still have wet feet. While this commentary from Pratchett is intended to call out wealth inequality, it is also a valid method for being more considerate about the types of products we buy that we use every day and need to be consistent and reliable. As Jason Pargin put it on TikTok,
the rule I heard as a kid was always put quality between you and the ground. The things that are causing you minor pain and discomfort now are going to turn into surgeries when you're in middle age. A few $100s spent on things that preserve your body now will save you hundreds of thousands of dollars down the line.
What struck me most about Cléa is how she weaves all of these ideas, gender inclusivity, cultural reinterpretation, and sustainability into a cohesive vision for the future of fashion.
And at the end of the day, once we figure out who we are, we shouldn't really just... It's not that we shouldn't compromise, that we should play around it without losing our identity.
For her, fashion is about storytelling. It's about claiming your identity and letting it shine, no matter what the rules say. And her vision for tailored menswear isn't about keeping it locked in the past, it's about making it meaningful and accessible to anyone who loves it. Talking to Cléa left me inspired. She's redefining what it means to wear a suit, showing that it's not just a uniform for the elite, but a canvas for self-expression. Whether she's critiquing fast fashion, sharing style tips, or challenging norms with her sharp suits, Cléa is proving that menswear isn't just for men. It's for anyone who wants to wear it. And she's doing it all with a classic nonchalance. Thank you again, Cléa, for the jolly good chat and for being a fellow sartorialist. It was really fun to get into the weeds with you about this topic, and you're a delightful conversationalist, Old Bean. I'm intrigued by fashion influencers, and I enjoy watching their videos, especially historic fashion, as reenacting and living history are some of my hobbies. This is the start of some upcoming videos about clothing, costuming, and vintage style that I mentioned working on at the end of my video about critiquing creators. These are things I'm passionate about on their own, but these forthcoming videos will also serve as a through line for talking about societal issues and expectations, how history informs the present, and what we can gain from social interaction and community building around niche interests. These will be interspersed with my other musings and thought pieces I'm working on right now, and once there's enough of them, I might start sorting them and other sets of videos with similar themes into playlists on my channel. To support me in my exploration of these topics and more, please consider becoming a member of my Ko-fi page, ko-fi.com/evankinswood. It's like Patreon, but has some additional features that I think will support my future projects better, and Ko-fi doesn't take a cut of donations or tips if you want to toss me a couple bucks. There, I post all of my videos in the order that they're published, regardless of platform, as well as behind-the-scenes content and extras that I only post there. For more about me, check out evankinswood.com. That's all for now. Take care, and see you in the next one.